Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about email delivery on cloud, where we're going to cover two email services, which are Oracle Email Delivery and the very popular AWS Simple Email Service, also called SES. I'll show a comparison, as well as I'll show a demo specifically of OCI email. If you want AWS SES, you could check out our prior videos where we have done a lot of demos on how you could go about using SES. Before we get started, please like, subscribe, share our channel, and also check out our new product CloudMy site, where you can get affordable cloud hosting and scalable website hosting on cloud. Let's get started. I'll start with email delivery, Oracle with OCI email delivery, where it's an email sending service and simple mail transfer protocol relay that provides a fast and reliable managed solution for sending both high volume bulk and transactional emails. Email delivery provides the tools necessary to send application generated email for mission critical communications such as receipts, fraud detection, alerts, multi-factor identity verification, and passwords resets. This is a fully managed email sending service on Oracle Cloud. You don't need to manage any infrastructure. There is beauty of cloud, where you just use the no ops model, which is the no operation model, and you could have your application up and running in a very quick time and in a very cost affordable way as well. And OCI email, it'll provide both options, SMTP relay and DKIM signing as well. It is nicely integrated with OCI logging and security monitoring. I'll show you in the demo how you could kind of check it out. And this is best for transactional email. Before we get to the demo of OCI email, we'll also check out AWS SES. Similar to OCI, it is a very popular service. It has been there for quite longer than OCI. It is a scalable email sending service for transactional and bulk emails. It supports as well as SMTP, APIs, and even notifications. It features DKIM, SPF, and DMARC for security. It is commonly used for marketing campaigns and notifications. This is the feature where the delivery model for OCI email and SES. It is using SMTP delay and SMTP API for SES. The email authentication for both, they support SPF, DKIM. SES will also support DMARC. Integration, it is OCI and non-OCI applications because it doesn't mean that you need to have your application hosted on OCI. You could use a third-party library, be it in Azure Functions or any other cloud from an on-prem, and use the service, use the API capabilities to send your emails. Similarly, SES as well, you can use it within the AWS service or non-AWS applications as well. The pricing I'll just kind of quickly show. This is the link where you could check the pricing, but what I wanted to just show is that for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Service, it does seem to be cheaper, where for email delivery, 1,000 emails sent, it is 0.085 thousand emails. AWS, it is little expensive, which is 0.1 cent per 1,000 emails and 0.12 per gigabyte of data in the email attachments you send. Configuration sets, essentially about configuration sets, it's like it provides you the out-of-the-box notification, and I'll show you in the subsequent demo of SES. I'll just quickly show the overview, but it really helps in the monitoring in terms of testing out your emails, something that OCI does not have, but AWS has. Monitoring, it is there in OCI, it is there, but it's not straight out of the box, as SES has, means you have to go and do it like the setup compared to SES. And let me show you how this looks in the AWS, and which is where this is the bargain that you need to look into, because for AWS, you're going to be paying little more, but you're going to be getting a little smoother setup compared to OCI. But let me show you how SES looks like. This is the AWS SES dashboard. As you could see, it is the service, and we have done a lot of videos on SES, how you could use monitoring configuration set. Please check those videos out to know more about how you can configure SES, but this is what I was talking about. Configuration sets, you could have a lot of configuration sets, and in the effect like the configuration sets, you have out-of-the-box monitoring and configuration as well. And you see, you can have email templates in here, something that OCI does not have. So a lot of templates you could have, instead of hard coding all the HTML in your code, you could have it as part of the template, and all you have to do is pass a bunch of parameters. A very, very useful feature. Something that OCI does not have. Dedicated IPs is another good feature in the AWS that OCI does not have. A lot of these other ones are there that you will see. I just go after this to the next one, to the OCI console. You'll see a lot of these features are not at all there in OCI. So OCI is a good service for if you just want the basic email sending. But as and when your application starts growing complex, we'll find a shortfall in OCI email. I'll just now go to the OCI so you can check the other services. What you need is an OCI. You can see my screen already. I have an OCI account. You need to have a similar one, and you could start your own trial. And if you want an OCI, you could get a $300 free credits, and there's always free services that you could use. You need to have an environment and ensure that your user has been assigned to a group with the permissions to manage the email family resources. Creating a user is the security best practice now. I already logged in with the user, and all users set up as permission is already provided. And that is out of the scope of this demo. But you do need to set up the user to have the right permission. And if you want, you could also have a console user that already has permissions assigned to the email family. You will also need a DNS domain to publish your domain keys identified email, which is the DKIM, and sender policy framework, which is the SPF records. While the DKIM, which is the domain keys identified mail, aren't required to send emails. Or we highly recommend setting them up, and I'll show those in the demo. First, we need to create a user and an identity. And I'll choose the default domain, and in here, just choose users and create a user. The required domain, I'll just give a YouTube video, YouTube, and last name is video. I'll just give the email of our support team at cloudmysite.com, and the groups you could, for now I'll just make it administrators, and you could provide in relevant group with the right permissions. This is where you should see the user information. This user, it should be created, and this is the information about the user, because this is the user I'll be using for the demo. First need to create the SMTP credentials, and this is where I will generate a credential, and I'll just give it IT demo. Generate credentials. As you see, this will not be shown again, so just show it and copy the information. Likewise, copy the password as well. We need to create an email domain. An email domain, it lets you set up important authentication measures for sending email. So under developer services, we will be choosing application integration, and then you see there's the process email delivery. In here, we need to click the email domain and create a domain. This is where you will need to provide your email domain. We have one domain for a customer. I'll provide example+.com, and I'll just choose divide compartment in Oracle. If you want to know further details about the compartment, you can check our other videos that provide the whole concept of compartments in OCI. Give the tags and tags keys, but for now I'll just skip it and I'll hit create email domain. This can take a few seconds, but now this is where you see the email domain is active. The lifecycle, the OCI ID is something you could check it out. But what we need to do is we need to have the DKIM, and this is where the signing needs to be set up, and subsequently we will also have the SPF configured. As I said, the DKIM, it's an email authentication technique that allows the receiver to verify the owner of an email domain. It gives the email a digital signature, which is a header field containing all the signature and key fetching data. Email receivers like Gmail and Microsoft, they detect the DKIM signature and then run a DNS query, a domain name service query, to search for the public key for that domain, and if found, it decrypts the signature and confirms that it was created with the matching private key. So implementing the DKIM definitely will improve your email deliverability and will also protect your domain against malicious emails sent on behalf of your domain, something we always set up for our customers, and something we always will suggest you to also do that. Now that you know what DKIM is, let us navigate to it in your zone and create one. I will come here and add a DKIM. Now, here we use the DKIM selector. The DKIM selector for this DKIM key must be globally unique for your domain, and what we recommend using a regional indicator and date portion. Now, this is the indicator for Ashburn here, and the date. I'll change this to be 16th of March 2025 because you should be rotating your DKIM keys so that the date will help in the future key rotation. At next, and we need to generate the DKIM record. Now once DKIM record is created, we need to configure our DNS domain. So what we will do is, we will take this and create the CNAME record with the value it gives us. I'll take this one here. I could just copy it, and I could come here, example plus in Cloudflare, and add a record. And this is where I need to choose CNAME. I choose this, and I give this value example plus, add this copy, and paste it here. Could choose any DNS provider, doesn't need to be Cloudflare. You could choose anyone that you're comfortable with, GoDaddy or whichever one. Or you could come to us, Cloud My Site. We have the largest TLD providers, top level domain that you can have at a very reasonable pricing, and we will beat any cloud provider. So definitely check us out, cloudmysite.com. Check out the domains, check out the pricing, and we will help you in all this setup. Save the DNS propagation and take around sometimes a few minutes, but also it could take a few hours. So let's give it some time for the domain to propagate. We'll resume once the status changes, which should be in a few minutes. Okay, so now this record is active. It took around a good 30 to 40 minutes for the DNS to be propagated. So once you add the entries, the CNAME records in your DNS, give it an hour, and not to say that it can be done in 1 hour. It can easily take 24 hours for the DNS to propagate it, so give it some time. And one of the things you should do as part of the DKIM is you do want to rotate your keys every so often, probably every month, depending on corporate policies. Or if you are an individual user or a small business, maybe depending on your compliance requirements, a little longer duration should be acceptable. So now the DKIM is good. So what we'll do is we'll create an approved sender. You need an approved sender for all from addresses sending email through OCI. Otherwise, the email will be rejected. Every sender email address must be registered to use it for email delivery. You should note the following details about approved sender. Approved sender is associated with the compartment and only exists in the region where it was configured. And we all know what a compartment in OCI is. And if we create an approved sender in the US Phoenix region, we cannot send emails through the US East Ashburn region with that sender. So if I go and create it in other regions, Phoenix, I will not be able to use it in the Ashburn region. And we don't create approved senders in the root compartment. It is not advised. If you do, you need to create a policy to manage the approved senders in the entire tenancy. Creating approved senders in a compartment other than the root allows the policy to be specific to that compartment. Using multiple addresses in the email from header is discouraged because it increases the possibility that your mail is placed in a spam folder or discarded. A best practice for the from address is to match the header from address when you submit a rail to email delivery. And if you use mismatched addresses, it reduces performance of your emails because both addresses need to be authorized as approved senders. And what are approved senders? Approved senders are unique to tenancies. If you create a duplicate sender, the service will return a 409 conflict error. So let's get started and create an approved sender. This approved sender, it could be support at exampleplus.com. This is the approved sender I have created. Now I need to create an SPF. And the SPF on the approved sender domain. The SPF allows you to state which email servers are permitted to send email on behalf of your domain. Email receivers use SPF to detect email spoofing. You can implement it by publishing a special TXT record to your domain's DNS records. The receiving mail server checks the SPF record of the sending domain to verify the domain email source IP address is authorized to send from that domain. Without SPF, a spam or phishing email can be spoofed to appear that it comes from a legitimate domain. So this is very important, and do ensure to have this set up. I'll choose this one, and I need to click View SPF. Add the TXT record for this entry over here. Go to the Cloudflare again, and add the TXT records. I'll choose this one, and I'll add a record. Choose TXT. Leave this for @ root, and give it like this, and hit save. I'll pause the video again, because as earlier, this can still take around 30 minutes for the DNS to propagate. I'll offer 20 minutes. The SPF configuration is also yes. To see this configuration, run to the email domains part. See your domains out here, select the one that you're configuring. And this is where you should see the status says yes. Now let's go to the next step where we have to configure the SMTP connection. So navigate to the configuration, and we will see the SMTP setup. So we come here, and you select this configuration, use the SMTP sending configuration. The following information is displayed: the public endpoint, which is used to send email in this region, the SMTP port, which is used to accept email. Email delivery supports the TLS, transport layer security on port 25, or the recommended one is 587. And security, it indicates if TLS is being used. Now this is where it says TLS is required, and the customers, they must encrypt email while in transit to email. The last part is sending the email. We have the configuration, we have DKIM, SPF, and we also have the from sender configured. Now let's go ahead and test the email. This is the Python script as an example. This script is also going to be there in our blog, arinatechnologies.com blog. Link is going to be there in the YouTube comments as well. You could click on it and go to the blog to get more details. This is the email that we had done, the from sender email support@examplepost.com. The recipient who I want to have it, I just have a test email that I use. And the username SMTP is what I'll populate. This is the SMTP user that we had created initially. Populate that. Provide the password. Don't worry, I'm going to be deleting this, so don't worry about hacking. By the time this video is posted, all this configuration will be deleted. The host, this is going to be the same for me. And this is what I was showing in the early console, and the port is what is going to be there as well. I put the password, I put the sender, and this is now configured. So let me save this, open a terminal hand. Now let me try going to this download. So now email is sent. So let's check out the email that is there. This is a very basic email. You want to beautify it, feel free to add HTML code. So let's check out the email. I've logged into my email, and this is the email received. You could see the from sender. This is the to, and you could see the email is there. With this, I hope you get a good understanding about how OCI email works. I just wanted to show you a few other things. In terms of suppression list, the monitoring available, this is the suppression list that I was mentioning, and this is under email delivery. Now this list, the suppression list, over here what you could do is you could include the emails that email delivery doesn't send any messages to, so you could put the emails that you don't want any messages to be sent. And as you begin to send email delivery will automatically add the email addresses with bounce codes showing permanent failures or user complaints to the suppression list to protect your sender reputation. So you should come here, you should monitor this out, and this is where you need to manually add email addresses to your suppression list if you're having bounces or other things. Comparing this with AWS, this is a suppression list in AWS as well. It will show all the emails that you should be having as part of this suppression list that you don't want the emails to be going to, as you don't want to kind of send the emails to, but just something to keep in mind. And also the monitoring, it's kind of out of the box in AWS, but this is where you could have the suppression list. For volume testing, you need to maintain both your sender reputation and oracles as well. So use the following best practices in volume. Use a receipt address at the discard.pum.org, discard.oracle.com domain, such as example at discard.oracle.com. What email? This email delivery accepts the mail, but doesn't deliver to an inbox. And if large volume emails are sent to valid email addresses, receivers reject them. resulting in many hard bounces. This will result negatively in affecting your IP reputation. Hence, for testing bounce processing, send small amounts of emails to a domain that doesn't domain. Don't spam it, otherwise your account could have issues. I just wanted to quickly show the monitoring aspect of you could check the metrics. And you see, these are the metrics that you can see. The start time, the emails suppressed, the emails bounce. And this is OCI's native monitoring that you could use. And then logs are here. To conclude, OCI email delivery is an out-of-the-box, developer-friendly service that solves configuration, infrastructure, security, and authentication issues for email delivery. Email delivery ensures that emails reach user inboxes as you scale the number and frequency of outbound emails, which is critical for any business communicating with their customers. OCI email service exists in pretty much all OCI regions and realms and is ideal for transaction application-generated emails. So you could see how easy it was to configure the email domain and approve sender and use a simple Python script to test everything. With this, we come to the end and hope you like this video. Please like, subscribe, and share our channel. Also subscribe to the newsletters so that we can, if required, we could send you promotional material. Share my site to your friends, family. With that, thank you and have a good day.